Welcome to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. We have here Coach Hank Sawyer from Lake Taylor High School, the new two-time state football champion. Coach, welcome.
Well, thank you, Steve, for having me.
Great things just happened, and as you can see, you brought all your trophies with you.
Right.
And it's, again, another honor for the state to, or for the city to have this champion. So, Coach, talk a little bit about the season.
Well, first of all,
and how this came about. I'm
truly blessed and highly favored, you know. Just a lot of great things happening. I'm a very compassionate person. The word love is something you don't hear on a football field, but I truly love my players and my coaches in my city. And I try to exemplify it in everything we do to prepare for football. You know, we've had a lot of success in Lake Taylor, and, you know, a lot of people come after you because they want to win, and so you have to bring your A game every week. And so therefore we have to prepare for it. You know, January through June or July is our months to do weights and preseason training, and then we try to put those things into effect. I told my coaches the first practice, by the time we opened up the first game, I wanted to be in mid-season form. You know, they joked about it, laughed about it, but they understood and they got the message. And then when we got to mid-season, we needed to be in playoff form because everybody's aiming for you. We just blessed with an awesome group of young people that have those same values, and they buy into what you're saying. And the coaches have been with me a long time.
Right. You touched on the January to June. The rules changed probably, it's been 2 or 3 years now that you guys can have contact with them almost the whole year. Yeah, and how has that worked out?
And it probably works for me a little better than some others because my wife, as you know, is a basketball coach. So she puts her own 2 hours or 3 hours a day into basketball. Therefore, I have that time to give for football where if some of the other coaches can't be there, I'm going to be there. You know, and the kids know I'm going to be around. I might be half asleep, but I'm there, you know, and we get to go out on the field and that type of thing. And we really put our offense and defense in, and we get to size up some kids and let them know what our goals are going to be.
Yeah, one thing I've kind of noticed that when you do take your team out after the initial period of weightlifting, you know, all your coaches are there. They're not being paid then.
No, if you're into football or sports for the money, get out of it because you're in it for the kids. You know, you got to teach them how to be grown men. There are a couple of ways to show kids how to become a young man. Some of the lessons of life can be taught through losing. Well, that's not an option for us. We don't want to lose. So therefore, you have to be there and show them. You got to show them what they did in the classroom is wrong. What they're doing with other people is wrong. And the biggest thing now, you got to teach young men how to be respectful.
Okay. All right. And you're doing that. And you can see that in your teams, how they act out in the public, because that's one thing I always tell everybody. When you go with Lake Taylor High School, they all look the same. They're all dressed, very professional, very respectful. And not only do I appreciate that from the Office of Athletics, but I know the superintendent does, the school system, the mayor. You know, they represent the city very well. Right. So let's talk about the season now. You knew you were going to be pretty good.
I thought so anyway, yeah.
And so that first game was Phoebus High School.
Well, Phoebus, you know, we were going back and forth a little bit, and, you know, sometimes, you know, I've been accused of being arrogant and cocky. It's called swagger. You know, I don't fake it or anything. It's just me. And we knew we had to beat Phoebus, you know, because everyone was saying the 54 nothing, whatever it was a fluke. So we had to prove that first. Then when we finished, you know, you don't want to have a letdown, and we went to Amherst, and we won a few. Then here we go Northview. You know, they had a lot of success. Coach Cotton, I coached them. You know, I almost raised him. He's my guy, you know. And so I had to get ready for him and, you know, tear down that monster. Then here come LC Bird, you know, two-time state champion. Well, you know, people was telling me, if you're going to be the Hamptons and the Phoebus of the world, of Tidewater, and then you got to beat those LC Bird. So here we go. Awesome job by the kids. You know, they bought into it, and we were able to beat them. You know,
great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere, packed, you know. Now, didn't think anything about, here come that monster called King Kong, man, that you didn't beat them. Everybody's coming after you. Everybody expects you to win, you know. And so I told the coaches, we just got to keep playing. We don't need to be good now, but we need to be good when the playoffs start.
Okay. All right, playoffs. You get into the playoffs. You go undefeated, 10-0. and it's game by game now.
Right.
And to get to the end, you got to win 4 games.
Right.
So you start off against I think Lakeland.
Lakeland, we didn't have they're up and coming team, and I thought they gave us their best shot, and we took it and got off the field and were fortunate enough to win. And then I think who came? I'm not even sure who came next, because they. I thought that we had the rough side of the draw, because now I got to play Dinwiddie, who took me to the woodshed.
That's right.
Last year in Dinwiddie, Virginia. Well, I'm home. And even my dog Bam Bam, that weighs 5 pounds, will fight at home. So when I'm telling my kid we got to fight, this is a big one. They're well coached, a lot of players, but we're fortunate enough to to beat them.
Okay.
And so.
And you were, and that was a good win because you beat the defending state champion.
Right.
Now you get to the state semifinals.
Here come Kings Falk.
Oh, that's right.
Here come Kings Falk, and everybody's saying they beat Phoebus last year, and they look great on film and all that, and they got a couple of older million commits and all, and our kids always want to showcase that they're as good as anybody else. But it was raining, raining all week in preparation. Well, we thought that played in our favor because we're going to run the football. They're going to pass a little bit more than we did, but then I got a little nervous about whatever happened with my footing, so I was able to contact you, and we got the game at Powhatan. Great atmosphere, great field. We're able to win that.
And now the state semifinals.
And here come Monacan, and they just beat Heritage, who you think, in actuality, you think you're going to be playing.
Exactly.
And we made some mistakes, and we fumbled the ball on the 2-yard line, and some things where we should have scored two scores. Well, you didn't get it. So now, people saying, oh, okay, boy, we never been behind. In the locker room, I'm telling the kids to calm down. We can move the ball. And we're fortunate enough to move the ball. And here come this play. But before this play, 2 plays before this play, we scored a touchdown.
Yep.
The guy tells me I have a legal formation. Well, one thing we don't do at Lake Taylor, we don't have illegal formations, and we don't have illegal games. I pride myself on that. So I think he's going to go over there and pick his flag up and wave it off. He puts it in his pocket. So now we got a call for the field goal. Where all of a sudden we go for the field goal. And now he's holding, which is he's our normal snapper, but he's holding the other kid, young kid, kind of roll the ball back there. They get a block on it. There's the ball landing, and I see the whole Monacan team just run to the middle of the field. Thought they had the ball. Thought it was somebody's foot, and I look back, here's the ball. Marquise picks it up. He looks around, and I see him jogging in. He's a very smart, intelligent guy, understands the game. And he's in the end zone, and he puts his hand up, then everybody just go crazy. And Monacan is in shock. So the guy said, you ever seen anything like this? Yeah, Alabama Auburn last year. You got to play to the end. Hey, I'll take it. Highly favored.
Yeah,
favor ain't fair, but I'll take it.
And you take it and you move on.
And I move on.
And now you get to play for this thing.
Well, everybody wants to know about that play. It's gone viral. It's ESPN, they calling me, they blowing me up. And the athletic director, other people, they pressuring me to get in media. I got to keep my team together. I believe the good Lord put eyes in front of your head rather than back, so you can see where you're going and not where you've been. And I'm going to be adamant about it. No press, no press. Footage, no footage. Why do you need to see footage on me?
Well, you had a heck of a week of practice.
Right.
Good focus.
Right.
And that's what. And I know that was the goal.
Right.
To keep that team focused.
Right.
So you get to Lynchburg. Well, you go to Charlottesville, then you go to Lynchburg.
Well, I go to Charlottesville because, believe it or not, in August our goal was to get back to the Wood Grill. I love to eat. My players love to eat. Awesome buffet, if anybody ever go there. And we had to go there. We went there. We stayed there. Kids went back to, I want everything to be the same. We went back to the same hotel, thanks to you. And we got up and took that trip, and we get there. We found out we the home team, but we don't have the home side of the stadium. We're pretty happy now because you did something to fire my kids up.
And they came out focused.
They came out focused. And I told you that morning, I said, if we play, it won't be, not to sound cocky, I said, we're so focused, if we play our game, it won't be close.
And that you're right. We were at breakfast, and you said, if we come out and play, we're going to win the state title going away. And that's exactly what you did. You won the state title 41-16. Talk a little bit about a couple of key players in that game.
Well,
and there were a lot.
You got Maury High, who's a student of the game. I have so many students of the game, Steve, I feel like it's not even fair sometimes. Maury High, Shaheem's a bulldog. I don't think it's a quarterback in the state plays linebacker and make tackles like he do. Marquise Poole, he just plays it all. Had a real good feeling about Donnell Ewell during the week. Had him on defense. Saw him do some things on defense. Didn't recognize who he was. He did so well, but I held it. Put him in the game the first quarter. He had 9 solo tackles, and the rest is history.
Okay.
A.J. Wims, the offensive line did good. Anthony Yancey, Wayne Davis, what the pressure we put on him. Everybody we play, he's going to draw their best receiver. That's pressure within itself.
Well, a lot of good players. And I have to ask this. Compare it to the first state champion team that you had.
Didn't have as many players. Those guys were starting to buy into it, but these guys took it and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
They just unbelievable leadership on this team. Understood the goal. They took a lot of pressure off of me because of the way they performed. Just the practices was just unbelievable. These guys were better in practice than those guys were.
Okay. All right. You've done something again. You know, the first one was 46 years ago. We appreciate you doing something
Thank you.
a little bit quicker than that. So, and I always do this. We always give your wife a little bit more credit than you, but you got a little bit closer now.
Got a little bit closer, but I'm still cooking and I'm still watching. My wife is just an unbelievable coach within her own right. Just a great athletic mind because she knows football too, and that's the problem right there. It's not how many titles she got. She's always in my ear. She wants to be on my huddle account looking at the games and all. She does so many things for the team as far as the publicity, the things in the locker room, and all of that. But if she wins 4, I'll take the 4.
That means you got to win another one to
that's
keep
exactly right, to keep it going.
Coach, I want to thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for everything that you do for Norfolk Public Schools, the city. You do a great job in leading those young men.
Thank you.
So, again, we appreciate it.
All right. Okay.
More NPS Now after this. Welcome back to NPS Now. We have 2 Lake Taylor football players here to talk a little bit about their state championship run. Marquise Poole, welcome, and Shaim Johnson, welcome. Marquise, talk a little about the position that you played and just a little bit about your football career.
Well, Lake Taylor, I played multiple positions. I played punter, kicker, running back, and also linebacker. And coming up, I pretty much played football all my life since I was about 4 or 5. So I pretty much had the will to play.
Okay. So you've been involved in it a long time. Were you involved in the middle school program at all?
Yes, I played Ruffner my 7th grade year, but I got hurt the first game of the season.
Okay.
But I played running back for the rest of that career.
Shaim, what about you? What positions did you play, and where did you play growing up?
Well, I played quarterback, linebacker, anywhere for real, but I played for Lake Taylor Middle. Started at linebacker and quarterback as usual, and we had an okay season. I think it was 5-3.
Okay.
We was tied for 3rd at Lake Taylor Middle.
All right. Well, why you're here is to talk about all these trophies around us, which is pretty unique. Both of you guys are 2-time state champions, and that's again another feather in your cap. A lot of kids don't get to experience 1, but you get 2. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Marquise, talk a little bit about the season. What were some of the special moments during the season? And then we want to save the Monacan game for last, so don't get into that one yet.
Okay, that was my special moment. Let me see. I would have to say when we were losing the state championship, and I just tried to keep my team heads high, you know.
Okay.
Because we've been down before. I just tried to keep them high and come out strong in the second half.
Well, you had a lot of moments during the season, and I was fortunate to see a majority of your games.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to help you a little bit. I thought that LC Bird game that you played in, one, you're punting, pinning them back deep, your kickoffs in the end zone, a big tackle. Anytime there was a big tackle, it seemed like you were involved in it. And then you got a big first down
in the last
to secure the game. Yeah. So going up there was pretty special. That was a big win. Yeah. So I'm going to help you with some of those special moments.
Like you said, the last play, I made a big first down. I knew I couldn't get out of bounds because that would stop the clock and give them great field position. So I tried my best to lean in and stay in bounds, and I was fortunate enough to get a first down.
Good. I mean, that's just being a student of the game.
Yeah.
So, all right, Shane, let's talk a little bit about your season. Let's start from game one, and we'll move up. You had a lot of good moments.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, beating in Phoebus, that was great because, you know, way back, Phoebus been beating Lake Teller for a long time, and to come out there and beat them again since 2012, that was good. Like you said, the LC Bird game, that was a great experience because we lost them last year, and they're a great team. Great team to play against, hard team. Came out there. Well, we went out there. Last year they came here, and the States game.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Coach Sawyer. It's the only time you can do this publicly. How was it to play for Coach Sawyer?
It's very fun, you know. He keeps everything real. He would never tell you a lie, tell you all the right things to do, you know, and just bond with him.
Shane, what were your experiences with Coach Sawyer?
When you get to know Coach Sawyer, he's a great guy. He's hard on you when he has to be. He's a cool guy, funny.
Okay.
Just good to be around.
Yeah, he's a
Well,
great person to be
he's
around.
done a lot for the program.
Yes, sir. He has
And you
done a lot
guys are
for us.
just taking what he's learned, or what he's taught you, and you're going to be able to move on down the road with that. All right, I want to talk about, before we get into your future, we want to go back to a game that got you to the state finals, that got you these awards, and that's the Monacan game. It was national news, and we're going to save you for last, but you guys were down, I think, 14-10.
Yeah.
14-12. And then they punted the ball and pinned you guys back at the 3-yard line with a little over 3 minutes to go. Shane, you orchestrated a 97-yard drive that was awesome. Talk a little bit about that drive and what some of the things that you did to keep that drive alive.
Well, we got pinned down there in the hole, so the whole time I'm thinking in my head, we can't lose. This is the drive to finish the game. Whatever happens here, this is either going to be a win or lose. So we marched down the field, threw a couple passes, ran the ball, and got great field position and set us up for a field goal.
So you're 97 yards away. How confident were you with your skills and your teammates to produce and get into that position for that last play?
Well, I trusted my linemen because, you know, we've been there together since, you know, August, practicing hard, so I trusted them. They trusted me, so I had to put it in my head as if, you know, we was really going to lose. So as every play started, I took it as I had to make this, we had to make this. Who's going to be the guy I throw it to? Who's going to be the guy, you know what I'm saying, get the first down.
Well, you had a couple fourth downs that you came big, you know, I mean, big time plays on 4th and 2, 4th and 10. I mean, and you were able to either get completed by a run or completed with the pass. So you got all the way down there, you score a touchdown, but you know, sometimes the referees throw that flag, and a flag was thrown, and 15 seconds left. Coach Sawyer called for the field goal. It kind of set up everything that was 2 years ago, the Stafford game, the North Stafford game, and you trotted out, and you guys lined up for that field goal. So take us through that play.
Well, first of all, they tried to freeze me. We're calling the timeout, and in that timeout, everybody telling me it's just like 2 years ago, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Taking it in, you know, absorbing all the pressure. But as we set up just to kick the field goal, as I'm kicking it, there's someone coming. So I'm thinking I'm going to get over his head, but I didn't, and he blocked it. And they thought the ball was dead, and they went and celebrated, ran down the sideline. But I learned from the Auburn-Alabama game, the ball is only dead on the PAT or across the goal, the line of scrimmage. So as I picked it up, I'm walking, looking around like no one's around me. And I started trotting. I threw the ball to the ref, put my hands up.
And then he put his hands up.
He put his hands up, and
ball game.
Ball game.
1914. So was that destiny? Is that why when you went to Lynchburg, hey, this is, you know, we got this thing?
I definitely think God was on our side that game, and I appreciate it for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, awesome moments for just a football fan, for a Lake Taylor fan.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, Marquise, on what's your future look like for football in college?
College, I probably go on to attend James Madison University and play a little bit of defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have some opportunities, and that's what this is all about. You're going to be able to graduate from high school.
Yes.
And then take your talents and academic work on to the next level.
To the next level, yes, sir.
Okay. Shaim, how about you?
Well, I don't know where I'm attending yet. I'm keeping my options open, but I will be going to college for football.
Okay. Well, whatever college is able to sign both of you, they're going to get 2 class individuals, 2 very good football players, and winners. And that's what programs look for. So, you know, Norfolk Public Schools, Lake Taylor High School, we appreciate everything that you've done. We're going to look forward to watching you in the future, and we're going to miss you, but I'm sure there's some young Titans that you guys have taught that will be leading the way in the future. So, all right, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. More NPS Now after this. Welcome back. We have 2 more special guests here from Lake Taylor High School, Coach John Quinterly, and an all-state football player, star football player, Maury Quinterly from Lake Taylor High School. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. How you doing?
Well, you're here to continue to talk about the great success of Lake Taylor High School and the past state championship. But before we get into any of the state football, let's talk about this unique bond that you 2 have. John, let's start with you. One, how long have you been coaching?
17 years.
17 years.
Yes.
Right? Prior to coaching, I'm spoiled. I knew you when you were a running back at Maury High School, an excellent running back. Went on to Norfolk State as an excellent running back career, and even to the next level before an injury. So talk a little bit about Maury High School and your upbringing a little bit.
Well, basically, I just grew up going out to Foreman Field, watching Maury High School play against all the district teams, and playing with the Dukes. We always had the same colors, Maury High School, so we all just look forward to playing with Maury. So once I got to the 8th grade at Blair, I was able to play JV and then dress out with the varsity under Red Stickney and then Bobby Pannenbacker. So, and I think that's when you came in. I think I came in high school as a freshman, and it was your first year as a trainer at Maury High School.
No gray hair at that time.
No gray hair, the young Steve. But we all just grew up in the neighborhood, just, you know, adoring our high school football, and especially going out to Foreman Field, and just couldn't wait to get to that program because it was a great program. And, you know, we just loved football, you know, at the time.
Well, that love of football, you've been able to pass on to your son. And,
yes.
And again, you know, in 10 years, you know, I hope I see Maury where I can say, hey, I saw him play football. And Maury, you know, I was able to watch you just like I was able to watch your father play. Talk about your upbringing in football through the years.
Well, you know, it started at a young age, you know, going out to their practices at Maury High School when I used to play for Blair, you know, seeing all the guys like Charles Humphrey, Keenan Lambert, Darrell Waters, you know, guys that, you know, as a kid you look up to. And then now coming as one of the studs in Norfolk, you know, is a big thing, you know. I'm a 2-time state champ, player of the year, you know. Now it's time to move on and continue my career.
A 2-time state champ, that's one in itself amazing. A lot of student athletes don't get to experience one, and you got 2 of them. So congratulations on that. Talk a little bit about your season at Lake Taylor High School.
Well, you know, before my senior season, I felt like, you know, I had a lot of guys that can, you know, lead a team other than me. You know, you had Mike Tyson, you had Brandon Moores. You know, I found like this year was my year. You know, you got to take over the team and lead. You know, that was my big experience and my big obstacle I had to go over. You know, it's hard to lead guys. You know, it's easy to follow. You know, it takes a lot to not only do your part on the team, but also to lead the youngsters on your team to, you know, victory. Okay.
Coach, I mean, Maury just had a super 4 years at Lake Taylor High School, and all the accolades that he has gotten thus far he's earned. As a coach, as a father, talk about watching him on the sideline and kind of separating both. First the coach and then
well,
the dad.
You know, I had coached with other people that coached the kids, and just being able to analyze what they did. I took some for what they did, I took some for what they didn't do, and I tried to put it together. And I knew going to Lake Taylor, Coach Sawyer was a great coach, and I knew he was a great defensive coach, and I wanted my son to play defense in college, so I just kind of stepped back and made sure that that he knew that he had to listen to Coach Sawyer before me, because he's the head coach. Even though I've been coaching him all my life and putting things into him, training him, but I wanted him to understand that once he gets to this high school level, whoever's his coach, he has to listen to, you know, first. And I trusted in Coach Sawyer, and Coach Sawyer trusted in me being on his team, because sometimes it's hard to have a coach on a team that has a kid out there on the football field, but I never got in the way. When he was punished, you know, anything happened to him, I never stepped in the way, you know.
And that's one of the things I noticed over the last few years, just your relationship, and you were truly the coach, and I appreciate that, and a lot of people should, you know, should acknowledge that. That's a hard thing to do because of the love that you have for your son.
It is. So what I tried to do was, you know, on the way home, I get on him for fumbling or anything that I saw was wrong, but in the game, I just make sure that I always kept him up like I kept all kids up, because, you know, during the games, you want to keep all kids up. You never want to bring them down. And so I just wanted to make sure that, you know, that I was his coach, you know, at the game, but not, you know, integrating him like I was his dad, getting on him, because I wanted him to stay up like other kids and didn't want to put that pressure on him. Okay. You know.
All right, Maury, let's talk about your season. Highlight some of your favorite moments, and then leading up to that big moment.
That's a good one. One of my favorite moments is I remember lining up at receiver, and I watched Shaheen jump over Robbie Robinson, our first game of the season versus Phoebus High School. You know, back in the day, before I got Lake Taylor, you know, Lake Taylor could never really beat Phoebus, and I feel like that jump was like almost a jump across Phoebus. You know, we beat them again. You know, and so I felt like that triumph they had over us, that weight they had over us for a long time, you know, that's finally off. You know, I finally feel like Lake Taylor is one of the top dogs around in the state of Virginia, you know. And and also the punt return that everybody like now.
Hey, I'm sorry, that's how you're going to be remembered for a long time, which isn't bad.
Yeah, it's like a going away present, you know, farewell to not only Lake Taylor, but to the city of Norfolk, you know. As I reversed fields and went into the touchdown, I was saying bye to everybody for a great career.
Well, you said farewell, great farewell. You have something coming up that's pretty special, pretty unique for a student athlete to do. You're leaving early for college. Talk a little bit about that process, and Coach, jump in on that and tell us where you're going and everything about this.
Well, I had decided to go to the University of East Carolina to further my career and my education. And not only have I chose to do that, but I chose to leave early. When January 10th, I would be going off to Greenville, North Carolina to further my football career and my education.
All right, well, that's a semester early. All right. So what did he have to do in order to graduate from high school?
Well, basically what happened was he went to Blair Middle School. He was in the medical program, so it gave him the opportunity to receive 7 credits coming out of middle school. So then last year, second semester, during his junior year, I sent him to Granby for night school to take all the first semester English classes, the first semester English class that he needed to take. So he took that, so he was eligible to be and he already finished all his SOLs at the school. So I brought it to Coach Sawyer. Coach Sawyer said that he thought that Nairi was pretty mature enough to go ahead and leave, you know, because there's really nothing to do. Second semester for a football player, but go to basketball games, work out, and that's basically what he can do in college and go ahead and start off. And,
and to get that started.
And then that way he could graduate with a bachelor's and a master's in college when he leaves the program.
Okay. Well, I mean, Nairi, you got a lot of things in front of you that the future looks very good. You know, we wish you good luck with that. We want you to, you know, make sure you do everything right in school. Make sure you work hard, get in that weight room, and get out there and perform for East Carolina. It's only 2 hours away, and I know that they'll be there every Saturday or somewhere watching you on a Saturday. So we want to thank both of you for being here.
Thank you.
And continue good luck.
All right.
Thank you.
More NPS Now after this. Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Setmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. We have two special guests today to talk a little bit about swimming and winter sports here in Norfolk Public Schools. We have Coach Cheryl Jennison from Maury High School, and she brought one of her swimmers, Frances Moore, a sophomore at Maury High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Coach, we're going to start with you. Talk a little bit about yourself, how long you've been coaching, and how you got started in this.
Okay, I've been coaching in Norfolk for 29 years. I was at Lake Taylor for 16. I've been at Maury for 13. I really kind of did the summer league stuff when I was young, did the lifeguard stuff, just really loved swimming. I guess my mom really got me interested in it, and kind of just, when I came down here in '85, I had the opportunity to coach at Lake Taylor, so that was great.
All right, so you started at Lake Taylor 15 years ago, and then you were able to kind of establish that program, and then move over to Maury High School, where you're also a physical education teacher.
Correct.
Correct, okay. At Maury, they have a pretty strong tradition in swimming.
Correct.
That you kind of have continued. So what kind of things has Maury accomplished over the last few years?
Well, we've won, when the Eastern District was still in effect, we continued to win that. And actually, the whole time I've been there, we've been the champions. We did lose one district meet, but that was a really good meet. But and we've done well in the region. I think we'll do pretty well in the conference this year also.
All right, we're going to touch a little bit about that, on that with the conference and the regions, the new format. But Frances, how'd you get involved in swimming, and what events do you swim? And we're going to get back to Coach to talk about a little bit about the events itself. So
I always loved water as a little kid, so I started doing summer league in 1st and 2nd grade, and I continued that to 6th grade when I started doing club swimming with TAC.
Okay.
Then I quit that to do Maury swimming.
All right. So a lot of our sports at the high school level, they have feeder programs in our middle schools, but swimming doesn't. So you mentioned that you were in club swimming, so that's the opportunity that if you want to be a high school swimmer, you have to look into. So
yeah, that and summer league.
And summer league. All right, so what events do you swim?
I used to swim the 100 fly, but now I swim the 200 free, the 500 free, and I'm usually in a free relay. Okay.
All right. Coach, to a lot of viewers, you know, that's probably, you know, they haven't heard a lot of these events. So talk us through a swim meet and what events are going on.
Okay, the way we do a meet is the boys and girls swim at the same time. The boys go first for one event, which the first event is the 200 medley relay, which each person swims a 50 of each stroke. Butterfly, back, breast free. And then the girls swim it. So there's kind of an alternating pattern. The next event is a 200 free. Next event is 200 IM. Next event is a 50 free. And then we take a little break so they can get back in the water to warm up. It's hard to swim not being able to stay warm, stay loose.
So a number of events.
Yeah, there's 11. There's 11 total events.
On your team, what are some of the swimmers that we can look forward to and that can advance into that conference and regional meets?
Oh yeah, I've got quite a few this year, which is awesome. Allison Pegram.
Okay.
Cara Johnson, her sister Kristen Johnson, who's a freshman. Nicole Neung. Let's see, Lauren Anderson. So they're all
so you have
potential state qualifiers, to be honest with you.
All right. So around the district, you've swam some of the district teams already.
Correct.
Now, are there some other swimmers in the district that might be able to advance to the region?
Well, we haven't swam Norview
Not to call
yet.
you know, to put all the names out, but
we haven't swam
team-wise.
Norview yet, and they're in our conference, and that's kind of why we haven't swam them yet. And we didn't swim Granby. So they're normally the ones that will have some people that may advance.
Okay. So how are your times for advancing to the regional and state level?
I need to take 3 seconds
about 3.
off my 200 free time, but I'm not sure about to make it to the Kickotan meet.
Okay. All right. So you have a number of swimmers that are going to qualify for that region and state level.
I'm hoping, yes.
Okay. What's it going to take what's it going to take for Maury to win a state championship one day?
Well, a lot of the girls that are swimming, for me, most of the ones I mentioned, they do the club and they do swim year-round. And that's huge. Most of the other teams that do well have that type of swimmer. Cox has a number of year-round swimmers. Not that you can't make it just being a swimmer for high school, but it's very hard. It's like any other sport. You know, the kids that play Boo Williams have a tendency to be better in basketball.
All right. Again, a lot of good information. We want to thank both of you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you at the pool. All right.
Thank you.
More NPS Now after this. Welcome back to NPS Now. Today we have two special guests to talk a little bit about high school wrestling. We have Gaskin Reynolds, the head wrestling coach at Booker T. Washington High School, and he's brought along one of his wrestlers, Parrish Howe, from Booker T. Washington. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Coach, let's get right into wrestling. It's the oldest sport in the world.
Absolutely.
And you have been around for, not as old as the sport, so,
right.
But you've been around a long time. I would consider you the dean of coaches with Norfolk Public Schools now. You've been doing it for a while. How long have you been doing this?
I started out at Maury High School, started wrestling for legendary Jack Kennedy, Jack Porkchop Kennedy we called him.
Okay.
And then went on to wrestle for James Lee at Norfolk State University. So I had some good teachers, went on to Norfolk State, came back to Maury to help with the coaching. And so I planted my roots here, and I've stayed here. So all in all, we're looking at from the time I was 15 to now, and I'll give my age away. I'm 55. So I've been in here for 40 years.
All right. Well, you know, I've seen you coach, and you're very passionate. You attract good athletes. That you have a good following, and that's real important for the sport, for any sport, that they have a coach, a mentor that can lead them. So let's get into wrestling. Talk a little bit about, and this is for everybody, the weight classes that are involved.
All right. Wrestling is great. It's a sport that you can take the smallest man at 103 pounds to the heaviest man, 285 pounds. So it leads to any child, anybody, male, female, you can wrestle. So, you know, and a lot of times there's kids that are left out, they're too small. We have a thing we talk about, if you're too small, if you're not slow enough, if you're not big enough, wrestling is your sport. Yeah. So it encompasses everybody.
So how many weight classes are there?
There are 14 total,
14.
Ranging from 106 to 285.
To 285. All right, that leads into Parrish. Parrish, what weight class are you?
I'm currently wrestling at 170, but I will be getting down to 160 shortly.
Okay. All right, you're a two-sport athlete.
Yes, sir.
You just came off the football field,
yes,
and now you're in the wrestling season. How is that transition for an athlete?
Well, it's not that heavy of a transition because, you know, I was conditioning on the same time as I was playing football. So the conditioning I used for football, I used and carry over into wrestling.
Okay. So what do you like about wrestling? Why do you
Wrestling is a great sport. It keeps my body fit. It keeps my temper in check. It helps me all around. My mentality is great because of wrestling. My body is great because of wrestling. My discipline is great because of wrestling. I just love wrestling all around.
You just mentioned discipline. Coach, this is one of the sports that you have to be disciplined in. Talk about how does a wrestler maintain that weight? How does he get to 160? How does that 103 stay at 103? I mean, that's a lot of discipline for a child with their diet and that.
With the new weight control management system we have in place now, long gone are the days where the coach decides what weight class a wrestler can go. Now there's a system put in place where athletic trainers that monitor each child will come in and do a skin fold calibration, and it will tell not only that wrestler, that coach, that parent, what weight that child can go. So now we have a system in place. So now it's very easy to maintain that weight because we have that system. They're allowed to lose weight gradually versus crash diets.
And that's been a program we've probably been involved with maybe 6 years now.
Going on 6 years now.
Yeah, it's been very effective and it's very key that that we have that healthy component for
Absolutely.
the wrestlers.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about your team. How's your team going to rank this year and get through the season?
Traditionally, Booker T is staying out. We'll have a team. We'll have 1 or 2 tough kids. The thing that we're focusing on this year is having a complete team, from 106 to 285. And what we're looking at, and in my room, we talk about GPAs, grade point averages. Our goal this year is to everyone to have at least a 2.8 grade point average. That's one of the things. Second thing we're talking about is making sure, Paris talked a little bit about discipline. I said a lot of times that we almost need to be social workers. We're going to be coaches nowadays. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that each kid checks on the other kid. So our team is going to be, we're going to have 1 or 2 kids that'll do well in the district meet. We'll have 1 or 2 kids that do very well in the state meet. But from a team standpoint, we're going to be the first time that we have a 103 to a 285. The kids are going to have a 2.8 grade point average, and we're going to have a blend, a great blend.
That's excellent. All right, Parrish, you're right now you're 170.
Yes, sir.
And you want to get down to that 160 class. How do you think you'll compete in the 160 in the area? All right, now we got the district. You have your conference meets, and then you're going to move into that Region 4A, which is different from the past. So what are your expectations and what are your goals?
My expectations are to push my limits beyond the limits. And I say that because it's a lot of things that I don't try because I think it's limited. And I believe that once you push past the limit, everything's unlimited. So I believe once I get down to 160 and once I wrestle 160, anything is possible.
Okay. All right. As one of the team leaders, how do you keep that? How do you keep the team focused?
It's kind of forcing it to be a family. But once we become the family, there's nothing to force at all.
Okay. Good. All right, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about the conference wrestling. It's obviously this is our 2nd year. We've gotten through the district matches. Doesn't mean as much as it used to, but this conference means everything because that's how you advance into your region and then on to the state. So in the conference, what teams are you going to look at?
We're looking at, of course, Wilson. Wilson is tough in our conference. Wilson is tough, and then we have Norfolk, which is in our conference. We're looking at teams, but Wilson is right now at the top. So that's who we're going after. Wilson, of course, we have Deep Creek, who's always tough, the returning champions. So we're looking at Deep Creek, and we're looking at Wilson High School.
Okay. Out of that conference, it's an individual sport. That's where it becomes individual. It is a team sport, but it's really an individual sport. Absolutely. And the top 4, I believe, move on to the region. Right. So what teams in the region are you going to compete against?
We're looking at teams like Nasma River, who's very tough every year. We're looking at a team like Hanover, very tough every year. Smithsville, we've got a lot of tough teams in there. So we're looking at trying to push past that conference and move on to the region. Last year, the regionals was held right here locally at Wilson High School, which is, I don't think people realize how important that is to host the regionals. And hopefully we can do that again. But it brought our fan base here. The stands were full. I mean, it was great for our kids to see the regionals held here, and the number of people were there. I mean, it was standing room only. It was awesome.
Let me get back to the district real quick. We've gone through that. What teams in the district have been competitive?
With the other districts, Deep Creek is always competitive.
Within the Eastern District?
In the Eastern District, Norview is very strong.
Norview?
Norview is strong. They're competitive. They compete with any team around. Norview is very competitive. Maury's coming along. We have Granby, who's filling a full team. They're looking pretty good. So from the Eastern District standpoint, what we always wanted to do is go out and compete beyond the district. Okay. I think we could do that now.
Right. Now, at the other schools, do they have any wrestlers like Paris that have some outstanding records right now?
Yes, sir. Wilson has 2 wrestlers that are in Virginia Pilot ranked, Virginia Pilot Legend Star. They have a 170 that's ranked number 3, and they have a 160 that's ranked number 2. And Lake Taylor High School has a heavyweight, a kid that wrestled for me for 2 years in a row in 7th and 8th grade. That was a 2-time state champion for me. He's Donnell Ewell from Lake Taylor. He's ranked number 3 at heavyweight. So we're showing that our conference can go out and compete with anybody.
All right. Hey, guys, a lot of good information. We look forward to seeing you on the wrestling mat throughout the year, and we want to wish you good luck during the season. And Coach, good luck with your team as they advance on through this season.
We appreciate you having us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. For all your results and scores, make sure you check out your big team's websites. Thank you for watching this edition of NPS Now.